Ms. Clapper?
Yes, we're ready, Judge.
All right, raise your right hand, sir.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
There's the judge.
And you may proceed.
Is your name Eddie Heath Hillier?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear us, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you the
I'm
son of
gonna
Willie
mute
Mae
my
Hillier?
audio.
Yes, ma'am.
And was Willie Mae Hillier a resident of Chambers County in the state of Texas for 6 months prior to her death?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah.
And did she die on, what was her date of death?
The 28th of March,
2020.
2020. Yeah.
And how old was she at the time of her death?
102.
She had 2 children during her lifetime,
Yes, ma'am. Me and my brother.
you and then Richard Hillier.
But hello?
Hello? Hi.
Hi.
Who is that?
I don't know.
I think it's on the other end of the.
All right, you mute everybody.
Yeah. One second, everybody. I'm going to mute everybody. And so we can only have the parties that are talking right now. 1 second.
Hey.
There you are, Judge. Okay, I believe we should be.
She's still muted.
Hold on. Ms. Clapper, can you hit the unmute on your end, please? I'm trying to do it from my end, and it's not wanting to work.
I've never had this problem before.
Who is that? He's muted.
Keep on muting him.
No, it's not muted.
I wasn't muted, so I don't know how I became. Can you hear me now?
Okay, we got you.
Great. With your permission, I'm taking this off so you can hear us.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not hearing a word.
Who's that, Roy?
Is this guy your brother?
Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Judge. The will that's the marriage to your father ended in your father's death in 2004, correct?
02.
02. And that he had a will, and that will is
No,
now
judge is here. He's hearing the case.
as a muniment of title, correct?
Correct.
Now, after that, his death, did your mother ever marry anyone else?
No, ma'am.
Were any other children born to or adopted by her
No, ma'am.
after her will was actually signed?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And your brother was named as the independent executor, but he has signed a waiver because you live here and he lives in a wonderful city called New Braunfels,
That's correct.
and it's quite a ways. And so you have agreed to be the independent executor, and you're the successor executor named in the will, correct?
Correct.
And you're willing to assume those responsibilities.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, this will that I'm showing you now is a valid will signed. Do you recognize her signature?
Yes,
Right
ma'am.
there?
Yes, ma'am.
And then on the very last page, you notice that it is witnessed by 2 witnesses, Laura Witcher and Michelle Sullivan,
Okay.
in front of the notary Rita H. Salmon.
Right.
And you're offering the will. What did your mother ever revoke this after signing it on January the 21st of 2004?
No, ma'am.
You're offering this will to probate
Yes, ma'am.
today, and you're willing to assume that the responsibilities, and you are you fit all the requisites of being a fiduciary independent executor of the estate, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
There's no charitable organization or other entity named in the will as a devisee.
No.
All right, I offer the will into probate, Your Honor.
All right, everybody admit the will of probate and authorize letters of testamentary.
And he also is authorized to serve independent without bond, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, I guess he didn't.
Sign this oath.
You can send that to county clerk civil.
Yeah, it was in the queue to go. I mean, I did,
No, I put next, it pulled up jail. I don't know why.
Is this your oath?
I can double check on that.
That's fine.
Bring to it.
Okay, so Ms. Clapper, we'll get to your other one in just a moment.
That's fine, Judge. I'm gonna mute myself so you won't hear me saying.
Thank
things.
you, I appreciate that. And we're gonna skip down to Mr. Davidson. He has another hearing, I was just advised. So cause number 76, the study of Bobby Jean Cravens.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good morning. You testifying? Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor.
you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes, I do. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may proceed.
Thank you. Bobby Jean Cravens died on March 12th, 2017 in Baytown, Chambers County, Texas at the age of 77 years, and clearly 4 years have not elapsed since the date of his death. This court has jurisdiction and domicile over this matter, and that he had a fixed place of residence here in Chambers County at the time of his death. Decedent did not apply for nor receive any Medicaid benefits on or after March 1st, 2005. He left a valid last will and testament dated October 10th, 2013, which document was never revoked. That document has been tendered to the court, and the court is in the possession of the original, and I would request that you take judicial notice of the fact that the original document is there in the court's possession.
Go down.
There were no children born to or adopted by the decedent after the date that the will was made. There was no marriage of the decedent that was dissolved after the will was made, and neither the state, a governmental agency, or charitable organization is named in the will as a devisee. And after investigation of the decedent's affairs, there are no outstanding debts that are not otherwise secured by real property. Your Honor, would request that the will be admitted to probate as a muniment of title only, and that the affidavit of fulfillment be waived.
Everybody admit the will of probate is immutable of title.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir.
Have a great day.
You too. Okay, sign in next, Austin.
Do quick under task actions, do next. Or,
I think
oh,
sign first,
sign
right?
first. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that. And now do next.
So I went somewhere.
Okay, yeah, that should have done it.
All right, cause number 75, the state of Catherine Green Congleton.
I'm here, Your Honor. Attorney
Good
Williams.
morning. Are you testifying or you have your client?
Miss Mary Catherine Plunk should be online.
Okay, you may have to unmute yourself. I'll see if I can do it from my end. You may be getting a prompt right now to unmute.
Are you able to hear Attorney Williams?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can't hear you.
She is unmuted, it appears.
Who's on mute?
Your client.
Let me see if I can send her a text real quick.
Okay, it appears to be unmuted, but we can't hear her. All right, so go ahead and work on that with her for just a moment. We're gonna mute you, talk to her, and then we'll come back to you. All right, let's go to number 77, the state of Joanne McClung. Ms. Clapper, you ready for that one? You need to unmute, Ms. Clapper.
Okay,
There you go.
There we go.
I think I just did. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Are we good?
We're good.
Great.
Are you testifying?
Do you want to swear me?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
am.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, you may proceed.
Judge, I would offer into evidence the proof of death and other facts signed by Billy Joe Garcia, the applicant, that Joanne McClung, resident of Chambers County, Texas, for 6 months prior to her death, died on May 30th, Bayside Community Hospital at the age of 88. The court has jurisdiction because she was a resident of Chambers County for 6 months, actually for many years, prior to her death, and she lived at 611 Light Street. She was married to Billy James McClung, her only husband during her lifetime, and the marriage continued until his death. She did not remarry after his death. There were 3 children born: Billy Mark McClung, Guy Lynn McClung, who died April 2nd of 92, leaving an heir, Tanner Ross McClung, and Robert Kevin McClung. No other children were born to or adopted by her. The will does name Kevin McClung as the executor independent. He has signed a waiver of service, and Billy Joe Garcia, his daughter, who is the successor named independent executor, has assumed the responsibilities for her father. The valid will is before the court. Ask you to take judicial notice of that it was signed by, and the proof of death says that is her signature, and it was executed August 20th of 2009 in the presence of Sandra Lockton and Brian Poland and a notary, Donna L. Maxey. So it is self-proved. She did not revoke it during her lifetime. It provided to the court that is before you is the only known will of the decedent. No state governmental agency or the state nor charitable organization is named as a devisee. There is no Medicaid claim against the estate. I ask that the court accept the proof of death and other facts into evidence, and that the last will and testament of Joanne McClung be admitted into probate, giving Billy Joe Garcia letters of testamentary independent without bond.
Everybody gets a probate and authorized, excuse me, authorized letter. Thank you, Ms. Clapper.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, back to calls number 75, State of Catherine Green Congleton.
Yes, Attorney Williams is here.
Good morning again. Hi, can you hear me, ma'am? All right.
Ms. Clark, can you hear the court?
Apparently not. Why don't you dial in, call 409. Two 2462. Say it again. Okay, we're gonna skip over you one more time. Can you send her a text and tell her to?
I will. I'll do that right now.
Did you get that number I gave her?
Yes, 409-267-2462.
Yes, ma'am. That's
All right, I'll do that right now.
thank you. All right, number 78, State of Peggy Meineke.
Good morning, Judge. I'm Fawn Doster. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, and my client, Deborah Zanana, should be online as well.
Yes, she is. She needs to unmute.
Done.
All right, raise your right hand, please, ma'am.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You may proceed, ma'am.
Terrific. Thank you, Judge. Will you go ahead and state your full name for the court, please?
Deborah M. Zanana.
And do you live in Austin, Texas?
Yes, I do.
And are you Peggy Meineke's sister?
Yes, I am.
Are you knowledgeable about your sister's background and life?
Yes, I am.
Did your sister pass on June 17th, 2020 in Baytown, Texas?
Yes, she did.
And did your sister reside in Chambers County or have principal estate located in Chambers County at the time of her death?
Yes, she did.
Were you able to locate your sister's last will and testament?
Yes, I did.
And is that the document we've presented to the court?
Yes, it is.
And do you recognize your sister's signature on the will that we presented to the court and her initials that are located thereon?
Yes, I do.
At the time your sister executed the will, was she of sound mind?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna put you on hold, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And you might want to turn down the, whatever's on the background, sweetie.
Go ahead.
Okay?
And do you have any reason to believe that your sister would have later changed her will or executed a subsequent one?
No,
And
Okay,
were there
put
any
you on hold
child or
when you
children born to your sister after she executed that will?
no,
Have more than 4 years elapsed between the date of your sister's death and the date we filed the application?
no,
At the time of her death, did your sister own property valued in excess of 1.5 million in Chambers County?
yes,
Does a necessity exist for the management and administration of your sister's estate?
yes,
And have you reviewed the information that's filed in the application that's before the court?
yes,
And is everything contained therein true and correct?
yes,
And we sent over a proof of death for your execution. Did you have an opportunity to read and review that?
I did.
Was everything located on that proof of death also true and correct?
Yes,
And we filed that document with the court, if the court will be so kind as to take judicial notice of that.
Yes, ma'am.
And Deborah, are you asking the court to appoint you as independent executor of your sister's estate?
yes, I am.
Are you seeking letters testamentary?
Yes, I am.
And this is going to be a long question, so give me just a minute to rattle it all off. As the independent executor, assuming that you are appointed, are you considered, number one, a minor, number two, an incompetent, number three, a convicted felon, number four, a non-resident of this state, who is not yet appointed a resident alien to accept service of process, a resident agent to accept service of process, or five, a corporation, or six, an alien disqualified by law, or seven, known to be of notorious bad character, or eight, have any claims against the estate, nine, unsuitable for any other reason to serve as appointed.
No,
And you're asking the court to allow you to serve without bond, is that correct?
correct.
Judge, I'm going to pass the witness.
All right, no questions. Hereby order the will to probate and authorize the letters of testimony. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
All
you.
right, third time's a charm. Let's go back to number 75. The state. Number 75, State of Catherine Green Congleton. We have your client on the phone, ma'am. So if you'll raise your hand, please.
Yes, I'm attorney Elizabeth Williams.
Okay,
And-
all right.
Right? Yeah, go ahead and swear in.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Okay, you may proceed, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Please state your name for the court. Okay. Now, was did Catherine Green Congleton die on or about January 7th, 2018?
Yes, she did.
And was that your mother?
Yes.
And at the time she passed away in Wallaceville, Chambers County, Texas.
Yes.
Now, was Miss Congleton 83 years of age, and she resided at 6304 FM 563, again in Wallaceville, Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Now, to your knowledge, did she die without revoking the will that's dated April 28th, 2003?
Yes.
Okay. Were there any children born or adopted to your mother after the execution of the will?
No.
Okay. Now, at the time she executed the will, was she of sound mind and at least 18 years of age?
Yes.
Did she have a marriage that was dissolved after the will was made?
No.
Now, have 4 years elapsed between when she passed away and the date when the application to probate her will was filed?
Repeat the question. Sorry.
Okay. Have 4 years elapsed since your mother passed away and the date when we filed the application to probate her will?
Oh, no.
Okay. Now, is the state of Texas or any charity a devisee under your mother's will?
Oh, no.
And in fact, we did a check and she doesn't owe Medicaid recovery anything as well. Is that correct?
I guess it's
Yeah.
about the same if you were in the courthouse and
Okay, all right then. At the time of her death, did Miss Congleton own property valued in excess of about $43,000 in Chambers County, Texas?
No, huh?
No, about 43,000 for the house plus maybe a little bit more.
Well, she didn't own the house.
Okay. But she does have property that she owns, which is why you're asking to be the executor / administrator. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. A necessity exists because there are some things in your mother's estate that need handling. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, does this will appoint you, Mary Catherine Dean Plunk, as independent executor to serve without bond?
Yeah.
Is there any reason why you would be disqualified to serve?
I
No.
keep trying to unmute myself and
All right, Your Honor, that's all the questions I asked today. That we admit the will to probate and assign Miss Catherine.
just don't want to hear these conversations.
Pardon?
Admit the will to probate and authorize letters of testamentary.
Thank you, Your
Thank you,
Honor.
ma'am. All right.
All right.
You can hang up now. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's move on to number 80, the state original Lee Nally. Mr. Fuller. Now it's your turn. We're going to unmute you. Roy, can you hear me?
hello?
Okay. Yes, sir. We're on Reginald Lee Nally. You got somebody there going to testify? Roy, can you hear me?
Getting all these signals. It said the host would like me to unmute, so I hit unmute. There I am.
No, can you hear me?
Still don't hear anything.
He can't hear. He can't. All right.
Well, you might try
Cannot hear me.
Control Command David.
Oh, I tried it. And I think what I'm doing is I'm muting
Mute him.
myself when I do it because you go.
Lauren, bring my phone. Okay, let's move to number 83. Mr. Baker, the state agent, Eugene Martin. You raise your right hand, ma'am.
Mr. Baker, if you will, unmute your iPad, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And you may, raise your right hand, please.
You can hear us?
Text Roy Fuller, tell him calling on this number.
Uh-oh, you're.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God? Is she-
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me fine?
Yeah, you may proceed, sir. We can hear you.
All right, you are Darlene K. Martin, is that correct?
That's right.
And you're here asking the court to admit to probate as a minimum of title, the last will and testament of your deceased husband, Adrian Eugene Martin, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, the only wrinkle, this is a pretty standard muniment of title, mom and pop will. The only wrinkle is, and she'll explain, she was a little slow to file the application. It's 4 years and 6 or 7 months after he died instead of within the 4 years. And I want you to take judicial notice that the people that would be heirs, if we were doing a declaration of heirship, for instance, with Gloria Lynn Searles, both Eugene Martin, Susan K. Martin, and then the children of Christy Lorraine Joseph, who predeceased her father, Eugene, are Emily Lorraine Joseph and Tyler L. Smith. They have filed waivers of citation, service of citation, and statements in compliance with the applicable statute, and they have no objection to the probate of this will, and that was e-filed yesterday. Can you confirm that? Oh, I don't hear you at all. I don't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, it's a new trick. You understand that? Yes, the court takes judicial notice and you may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you. Now, is it true that your husband was also known as Eugene Martin and Jean Martin?
Yes.
All right. And Judge, if you'll notice his will, he calls himself Eugene Martin instead of Adrian Eugene Martin, but that is the same person.
Right.
Yes.
All right. And so, is it true that there were his only children were Gloria Lynn Searles, Bo Eugene Martin, Susan K. Martin, and Christy Lorraine Joseph?
Yes.
And is it true that Christy died before your husband died?
Yes.
And then Christy left two children, Emily Lorraine Joseph and Tyler S. Smith, correct?
Yes.
All right, and so, now, when your husband, he was born in Beaumont, Texas, on or about October 27th of 1941, correct?
Right. Mhm.
And he died on or about December 14th of 2015 in Chambers County
Yes.
at the age of 74 years.
Yes.
And when he died, he resided the same place you reside today and that y'all resided for years, was 7903 Cove Loop in Cove, Texas, Chambers County, right? Okay. Now show to you, now of course ours is the e-file version with the social security numbers redacted, but this is the last will and testament of Eugene Martin that we're offering for probate that is dated 21 May of 2004, correct?
Right.
And to your knowledge, did he ever revoke this will? That's correct. He never revoked it.
No,
That's correct. He never revoked it, right?
that's correct.
All right. And you were married to when did y'all get married? November?
13, 19, 61.
There you go. And y'all had
65.
65 in Cove, Texas, right?
Right.
And so you were always married to him, he was always married to you, and there was no other marriage, correct?
That's right.
And there's no other children either. You don't have other children and he doesn't have other children, right?
That's right.
All right, so it's a high likelihood that if he had revoked this will, you'd know about it, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you did a similar will at the same time, y'all went in and had the wills done.
Right.
Okay, now, are there any debts to pay or administration where, or all those things taken care of?
Yes.
Okay, and the only debts that you would have to pay for him would have been real estate taxes and things like that. You took care of those things, right?
Right.
And so there's no necessity for administration. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. We're doing this to keep title straight, record title to real estate, right?
Right.
Now, you were a little slow in getting this application filed within the original 4-year period from your husband's death because you were grieving for him.
Exactly.
And because you were grieving for your daughter, Christy,
Yes.
and that had an emotional toll on you
Yes.
and it really slowed you down.
Yeah.
And then you had some other health issues,
Right.
which that compounded and just, you wanted to do things, but you just didn't quite get there, right?
That's right.
But once you learned that we needed to do this, we filed the application.
Right.
Okay. And were you also under the false impression that even though you owned all the property anyway, that you didn't really need to go to the courthouse to keep the record title straight?
Exactly.
And now you know you needed to do that?
Right.
Okay. Okay, is it also true that the state of Texas and is not a devisee and there's no charitable beneficiary?
Right.
That's correct. And Your Honor, this is a self-proving will. And I guess the last question is, you have read this proof of death and other facts for you to sign as part of the record in this case, correct? Do you accept that proof of death and other facts as your testimony?
Yes.
And do you offer it to the judge as your testimony when it is filed?
Yes.
All right. And Judge, we ask that you, she's the sole devisee named in the will because she survived her husband's death. And we ask that you waive the requirement that she do an affidavit of distribution because there won't be any distribution to be made. And that you accept the order that I sent yesterday, admitting the will to probate as a minimum of time.
So then,
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am. Y'all have a good day.
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna try to sign off. And
Okay.
good luck to Mr. Fuller.
We're gonna
Good
kick
luck to
you out.
Mr. Yeah, good luck to Mr. Fuller.
Thanks. Roy?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, I don't know what happened. We could hear you, but you couldn't hear us for some reason. So we
I
could,
keep trying to unmute. It says the host muted me.
well, he can unmute you, unmute him, and make sure. We'll check it again, but you were unmuted and we could not hear you.
It's
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you now.
can you hear us through the computer?
You can hear me through the computer?
Is that better?
Hold on a minute. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah,
Okay, good. I'm going to hang up the phone and then just be on the Zoom.
okay. How about now?
I'm good, Judge, if you're good.
I don't know what the heck.
I don't know.
Computers.
Right. I'll take,
So-
Judge, I'll take full responsibility.
Something about old dogs and
Yeah.
kind of things. So, all right, raise your right hand, sir.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
You may proceed, Counsel.
Your Honor, my name is Roy Fuller. I'm well acquainted with the decedent Reginald Lee Nally and his family and personal history. The decedent died on June the 20th, 2020 in Chambers County, Texas at the age of 69 years. 4 years have not elapsed since the date of his death. At the time of his death, he was domiciled and had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County. The will dated January the 12th, 2015 has been filed with the court. The original will, I'd ask the court to take judicial knowledge of the original will. There is a need for administration in this estate. There were no children born or adopted after the execution of the will. The decedent did not have a marriage that was dissolved after the execution of the will. The will named Carmen Jeanette Nally Bobbinger, formerly Carmen Jeanette Nally Thompson, to serve as independent executrix. And to my knowledge, there's no reason why she would be disqualified. The will does not name the state, a governmental agency of the state, or a charitable organization as the devotee. There is a need to probate for the administration, and it is a non-taxable estate.
Goodbye, admit the will of probate and authorize the letters. I'm glad we finally got it done.
Hey, thank you, Judge. Me too. Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
good day.
You too.
Last but not least.
Oh, I got a motion to dismiss. Let me find out where. Oh, it's here.
I'll send you in the later.
Signed it twice. All right, let's skip over it.
Yeah, I can help you avoid it.
Let's see, cause number 85, the state of Johnny J. Riggins is attorney of good moral character.
Ooh, I'm not sure about that.
I need you to swear to that, so. Yeah, all right, ma'am, if you'll raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
And you may proceed, counselor.
All right, I've got Cynthia K. Riggins here. And now, Ms. Riggins, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Is it true that Johnny J. Riggins died on February 29th, 2020 at the age of 76 years, and that 4 years have not elapsed since the date of his death?
Yes.
And is it true that the decedent was domiciled and had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the date of his death?
Yes.
And is it true that the document dated July 14th, 1989, which has been provided to the court, which purports to be his will, was never revoked as far as you know?
Yes.
And is it true that a necessity exists for the administration of his estate?
Yes.
And is it true that no child or children were born to or adopted by the decedent after the date of his will?
Yes.
And is it true that the decedent was married to you, Cynthia K. Riggins, at the time of his death?
Yes.
And is it true that you, as the independent executor named in the will, are not disqualified from accepting letters testamentary or from serving as executor? No further questions, Judge.
All right, everybody admit the will of probate and authorized letters. Got a little picture memorializing the moment. I'll send it to you now.
Yeah, text it over to me.
I will. Okay, you guys take care. Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.